Welcome to the Titan Upload Network as we are live. Where are we live from, Ross?
We are live from the Residence Inn by Marriott, and shout out to these guys for graciously letting us use their space. And we're down here in Mobile, Alabama, covering the Senior Bowl, and it's been an awesome day.
Yep, we'll give you a little gist of our little setup that we got going on here. The audio is not great. We do apologize. We're just using one mic to try to save some space here. But yeah, shout out. We are live, like Rossi said, from Mobile. We went to the Senior Bowl today, and overall, man, it was our first experience ever getting credentialed, by the way. Mr. Producer already fell asleep, but you'll see many different things. If you haven't followed us on X, please do, because we posted a bunch of videos. But how was your overall day at the
it was great.
South Alabama University, man?
It being the kind of the first time I've done this, I felt like in the beginning I was bumbling around a little bit, trying to find my footing, trying to find out, when can we go on the field? When can we interview players? How do we do it? But as the time, the first practice kind of bumbled my way through. The second practice, I feel like I got my footing, got some good interviews. We got some where I think we're going to play on the show tonight of some pretty premier players. I mean, there's some players down there who are first round talent. I mean, Some of them are going to go in the first round. We'll talk about some of them tonight. Some of them are going to second round, third. A lot of good players down there.
Yeah, and I was impressed with the facility. I thought that was really good. I was nervous as all get out. Producer and I left probably like 6 o'clock yesterday from Illinois, drove, picked this guy up in Nashville, and off we went. But we didn't sleep at all last night. And then we're kind of struggling a little bit behind, and one thing leads to the next. Got to find a place to park. We got to find a gate. We got to get through our credentials. We had a little bit of an issue, but we figured that out. But shout out to Molly from the Senior Bowl for giving Mr. Producer an opportunity, because you should be 21 or older. And Mr. Producer was down there. I believe he was the youngest one credentialed out of the bunch.
I think he was the youngest one credentialed, and I would bet to say that he might be the youngest ever to be credentialed at the Senior Bowl. Maybe. It's a possibility.
Definitely a possibility.
And he did an awesome job. He has some interviews too with some players, and it was really cool.
So if you guys have any comments, you have anybody you're interested in that was at the Senior Bowl, it's a really weird mix, I believe. It's like, you guys know the Ohio State guys never went. I was really pumped up to see some of those guys. They won the national championship. We'll give them a pass. But Notre Dame guys, I mean, there was at least 3 Notre Dame guys there.
Right.
And we got to see the shiny helmets. But, there's some guys that did a good job. And apparently the rumor around the Senior Bowl today is they just went home. They're like, hey, they did enough to show, and they're not going to ruin their draft stock. We did see an Oregon guy, a defensive lineman, hobble off the field. So you never want to see that. But overall, and then not to mention, there was a lot of content creators. Shout out to Roundtable Sports. But you got to meet an interesting guest. Did you not, sir?
Yeah, it was cool, and totally surprised that he was there. He's a huge Titans fan, but RBT, shout out to him. He's got a YouTube channel with like 1.5 million subscribers. He's been doing it for a long time, but he does mainly Madden stuff, but he's a huge Titans fan. We got a 3-4 minute interview with him, and that's something, we'll probably post on the channel at some point this week. But it was just cool. It was cool getting to network, getting to meet some of these people, seeing Broshmo, seeing RBT, and then meeting new people. And,
shout out to AP.
Yeah, shout out to AP. AP as we see it, I think, is the show. But just an awesome experience overall.
Yeah, we might have an in with a quarterback who plays for the Tennessee Titans, but I'll leave it at that.
Right.
I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but honestly, guys, if you have anything, we got Steven in the house. We got Big Dog Titan, and is this our first time doing a live show together? Is it not?
This is
history.
This is crazy.
So help us out. Hit that like button.
Very first time in person together.
In person together. Steven says, tighten up. I got to say, Jackson Dart would be perfect playing B.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into some of these guys. We all had different roles today. I mean, I was more the film guy, trying to figure that out, fighting the clouds, fighting the sun. And then it gets dark, and then you got everything set up, and then all of a sudden here comes the sun. It was a difficult setting. When we came into Mobile this morning, it was kind of foggy about an hour out.
Right.
But then producer and Rossi were lining up the interviews, doing that. And do you want to explain kind of how the process works? Because I think when we watch it on TV, I know I was the same way. Like, okay, you get credentialed, you get an opportunity to interview these guys, but you don't really get the context of how it works.
Right. As far as like the interview process.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, when you get there, you get to watch the practice basically from the stands. Like everybody who's credentialed, even some of the big guys, like they have to watch from the stands, and you literally get 10 minutes to interview these guys.
They start it right away.
They start it right away. You'll have a line of 100, 200 people on one. It's not two. It's one little drainage into the field, and they start the clock when they're lined up. So they start it as soon as they start the line. Well, the line takes a while because the guys got to check each one. Got to check your little punches and make sure you're approved for the field. So then you got to run around, and you also, not only are you competing with all these people, but you're competing with NFL Network,
Sirius XM,
PFN, PFN, all these places, Sirius XM,
33rd team or whatever they are.
And the cool thing is too, you'll see like people you've seen on TV, like interviewing people, and you're like, hey, I've seen the guy. But it's a battle to get some of these guys, but I think, if you have the right strategy, you could get it done.
Yeah, for sure. And then the other thing is too, I would, it's not always possible, but if you do get an opportunity to go, I know PD told you the same thing, but Tuesday and Wednesday would be your go-to days, and maybe go home Thursday. We have to, Rossi has a little bit more freedom, but I have, I don't have a lot of flexibility living so far away unless I fly in. And there's just no way I'd be able to do Wednesday, Thursday. And what's a shame is like Friday's kind of they do a parade and a concert, but that's pretty much it on Friday. Right. No interview or interaction with players.
And it's cool too, because even if you're not credentialed, you could still go to it. Like you could still sit in the stands. There's plenty of seats. So like you can get pretty close to the action. You could still, I think you could still bring a camera. There was regular people there with cameras with no credentials. And I don't know what the approval is on that, but if you guys, any of you guys are really into like college scouting and prospecting, like even if you're just in the scouting, it's a good thing where you could come down and really get to see these guys up close and personal without, just kind of as like a starter thing, learning how to do it. It's awesome,
So we have a lot of you in here. Shout out to you guys. We kind of just blew up here for a second. We had 3 guys in here. So shout out to Steven and Big O, or Big Titan, I should say, Big Dog Titan. But here's the thing. We did put a poll. I'm very interested in, and we're going to break some of these guys down and talk about them. But I know, what was it? Sam Phelan came out today and did a short on these guys are. There's no option for the Titans at this facility here in Mobile with the quarterbacks if they don't take 1 or 2 with Ward or Sanders. My argument is I think everybody probably said the same thing about Brock Purdy and how he Mr. Irrelevant, and he gets taken last by the 49ers. And for the most part, that's worked out like a success story, all get out. But we will break some of these guys down a little bit more. But yeah, definitely vote in the poll. We don't have a lot of votes right now, but currently, Rossi, between Gabriel, Dart, Milroe, and Leonard, Dart is the leader.
Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me. And we did get to see Jackson Dart in action today. We got to see Jalen Milroe. We got to see Leonard. We didn't see Gabriel today. I don't think he was there today. and we also saw the guy from Memphis, Seth Hennigan, who is, he shout out to Mr. Producer. He interviewed Seth. He was trying to get Leonard,
Yeah.
and
Sirius XM beat him to him.
yeah, I mean, they were just piling on him. So, and Seth Hennigan, shout out to him. He was so gracious to take on an interview with us. But yeah, I mean, Jackson Dart, like I saw some really good throws by him today. Like there was. I mean, he threw some darts and he also threw some bad throws. There wasn't like a quarterback. I mean, Leonard was really the one that stood out to me today.
Yeah.
Like as far as his accuracy, like he's the one that stood out to me today.
Yeah.
Milroe kind of looked like he did this season. I mean, just erratic at times, great at times. So,
Yeah, I think the issue with Milroe is like we were talking to some guys who were breaking this down for a living, and they said he had to come out and have a great day today. And I'm like, oh, because Rossi and I and producer weren't around the last couple days. We heard a little bit here or there, saw what was on X, and saw some guys talking. I mean, we listened to Sirius XM, channel 88 on the way down, and they had some really good interviews with some players and were giving their insight on what they thought, which is great to go into that. I wish I would get a little more of that, but I don't think he stood out at all. Seems like a really great dude, but I didn't like when especially for me filming, I didn't see, oh my gosh, wow, look at this, wow, look at that. I didn't really see any of that from him.
right. And you're talking about Milroe, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and I put out if you guys follow our X account, but my X at Titans Rossi, also the channel X Tighten Up Network, at Tighten Up Network, we're posting some awesome videos on there. He got a video earlier, awesome hit, and we've just been posting all the stuff on there too. So go follow that. Go look at that. I posted a video on my account of Milroe. It was a pretty basic throw. Like it kind of shocked me how bad it was. And I don't know if the receiver ran the wrong route or what it was. Like I would love to hear more about that. I'm sure he was probably asked about it maybe. But I would have to dig in and see. But yeah, just nothing. I mean, nothing that super wowed me by many of these guys out there as far as the quarterbacks go. I mean, I'm not saying, maybe second, third round, something like that. Maybe you draft Milroe based off talent, like they did Will Levis.
But no intention of like him being the guy. He's like a work in progress.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's where I would go.
So,
hey, you guys could definitely help us out by hitting those three dots in the top, or as producer said, you actually can, if you have your phone with you, you can actually double up the screen, double touch the screen, that is, and like that like button. We would extremely appreciate that, or hit that subscribe button. Like I said, that just shows that you care, and it gives us a little bit more. Hey, we're just not talking to ourselves in this hotel. Shout out to the Residence Inn by
Marriott
in Mobile. Check them out, by the way. They're a great place, super great, nice, friendly customer service. And they even have a basketball hoop. How about that?
Yeah, have a basketball hoop, indoor pool, and all that. So
super chat time. I did bring I'll show you my setup at the end of the show. I promise you that. Yeah, we brought everything with us. So shout out to my wife, by the way, for letting me come 14 hours down here and bring all this equipment and stuff my car there. But yeah, we have Titan South that says, should we give Will Levis another year?
I don't want to personally. Like I've seen a kind of shift in the last few weeks on X, on Twitter, with Will Levis. Like right after the season, people were like, no, done, don't want him, get him out of here, he's gonna be a backup. But I've started to see the shift kind of slowly come in, where people are starting to say, let's give Will Levis another year, let's give him another shot, let's draft this guy. Ooh, there's this shiny new toy, this tackle that we saw at the Senior Bowl today or at the East
Yeah.
West. Like, if we just add him,
Yep.
we could protect Levis. And for me, and I'm not dogging the guy, I'm just out on him. I've been out on him since halfway through the season.
Yeah.
I've been checked out on Will Levis.
Yep.
The issue is, what do you do? Like, what do you do? Like, there's a lot of rumors going around that the Titans are going to draft Cam Ward.
Yep.
Like, that's what I'm hearing. They're more interested in Cam Ward than they are Shedeur Sanders. Cam Ward is the more talented quarterback. And we've talked about this,
Yep.
Mark, about Sanders. Like, to me, if you're drafting Sanders, you're drafting the brand. Like, I just don't see him having the talent as Ward. Do you? Like, I don't.
I mean, at this point, I will say this
Like the
really
physical
quick.
attributes and the, and all that. I don't.
Yeah, it's gonna be, and like I said, when you say none of these Senior Bowl guys are gonna work out, well, I mean, there's no guarantee, and I mentioned this earlier, that Sanders or
No,
Ward's
yeah.
gonna work out, and
Yeah.
I'm not ultimately high on either one of these guys. The more I look at them, but I would say this: I still would love the opportunity to move back
Yeah.
a little bit, so you
Right.
could still get a stud. That's the hope for this team. But interesting nugget. So when we were in the car on the way down, we were listening to I think it was channel 84 on Sirius XM, and this isn't a shout out to them, by the way. But the point I'm trying to make is they were coming back with some Titans talk, and I'm like, oh my gosh, a college station talking Titans, I'm all for it. They come back from break. It's a very small amount. It's not a whole lot, but here's the thing: they have their guru on there. And he's going through all the possibilities that Tennessee's going to do at one. Okay. And he's talking about all sorts of players. He says, I see this guy, right? I think he said Hunter, obviously, Sanders, Carter. But he says, ultimately, I still think they're going to take Cam Ward.
Yeah.
And that just seems to be, if they don't trade out of that,
Yeah.
it seems like they're either going to talk themselves into Cam Ward, or maybe they already have.
Right. I think, honestly, for me, it's like you either, if you Abdul Carter seems to be, we throw the word out a lot. It's been coming around a lot the last couple years, especially generational talent.
Yep.
Right. And I think Abdul Carter is one of those players. Like, he's one of those guys that literally can change a game, right? Like, he can wreck a quarterback, he can change a game. And that's the type of player you want to draft at number one. Like,
Yeah.
you want a game changer. You want a guy that's going to come in there, impact the game. And that's what Carter can do. Like, can Travis Hunter do that too? I don't know. But I think when you think of it in that aspect, to me, Sanders is not that guy. That's just my opinion. Now, Cam Ward, I think Cam Ward is the only quarterback in this draft currently that has the physical attributes and the skills and the talent to warrant possibly like a top 10 type of pick. You know what I mean? As far as like that type of talent. Is he number one? I don't know. But to me, like, I'm looking at trading back too. If you can get a king's ransom for number one and move back to fifth or fourth, if you move back to fourth, you still have an opportunity at Sanders, Ward, Carter, or Hunter.
True.
Because that's only four
One of those
guys.
Yep.
So you move back to four, you're going to probably get a chance. The issue is your chance is probably going to be Sanders at four.
Yep. Yeah. And ultimately, we'll just see what ultimately happens with this thing. We do want to get to some of your comments, by the way. We see you guys are giving us a lot of comments here. It's a little bit different of a setup from either one that we're used to. I got to stretch across. I only brought the MacBook for me to use today. So, and Rossi has his. Do have everything else going. The Stream Deck, everything else is ready to go. Definitely vote in the poll. Again, our question was, if the Titans could draft any of these Senior Bowl quarterbacks, again, they have to be at the Senior Bowl, who would you want? Leonard, Milroy, Dart, or Gabriel out of Oregon? Who would you pick? Right now, you're telling us 29% Dart, but 29% Leonard. And we are going to spend some time with Leonard. But in a segue, we do have a couple of these clipped up ready to go. They are on our X account. But Mr. Producer had fun. Rossi had some fun interviewing some guys today. So let's talk about Pat Bryant, a possible candidate to come in for the Titans for wide receiver out of Illinois. And Mr. Producer interviewed him, and here's how it went.
What's good, man?
Did you have a favorite team growing up?
Favorite team? Probably the Jaguars, just being from Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Went to those games as a kid.
What are the best skills to work on as a wide receiver?
As a wide receiver, man, at the end of the day, you got to be able to catch the ball. So really having soft hands, man, and be able to create separation at the top of your routes.
All right. And then what is the biggest challenge you face as a wide receiver?
Really, man, just being a bigger guy, man. A lot of guys, kind of challenge me with my speed. So really just beating guys off the line, man, and just, going against press and beating press was really one thing I kind of focused on this year.
All right. ILL.
I.
Come on if you want, say hi. You can come on and say hi if you want. We have a YouTube channel. And we got credentialed, so we came down. I came down from Illinois and met him. We worked together in Nashville, picked him up. We covered the Titans.
Yeah, Tennessee Titans. Yeah.
See? Oh, nice.
Okay. All right.
Oh, Dolphins fan over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was nice to meet you. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
They say hi as well. Yeah, perfect.
Man.
So, and go Dolphins, by the way. That's what we always say. That's what we always say. It's Titan fans. Mike Vrabel's burner account, unpopular, but continue to develop Levis, and that's what's kind of come out of the Senior Bowl is he's going to work out with Jordan Palmer. So good for him.
Yes.
Milroy has always had major issues with accuracy. Top Tart, thanks for being a member, buddy. I've been hearing the Louisville. Tyler Show, is it Show?
Tyler Show, yes.
Has looked the best there. I did not see him today. Did he go home?
I think he actually was out there today.
Okay.
He was in the first practice.
First price. See, we were kind of way behind.
Yeah.
Short answer, top tier says no as far as Levis. Levis has the talent, but man, Travis Hunter or Carter or trade back for picks says Titan South. Brinker had Snake. What's up? Says L for Levis. Titan South says Levis is making terrible decisions, but he can still be our guy. I'm just saying. And hey, Titan South, I don't, you know how this channel operates. I know other channels maybe not operate. It's pretty cool to be in somewhere and have people walking behind you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you can't, it's cool. I know some other channels operate, their opinion is their opinion. Everybody else's opinion's not worth their opinion, then it is what it is. And again, we've never operated that way. Titan South, you know that. So I would say to you, I'm not in on him. I don't think you're in on him. I think there's a lot of people not, but there are some. We met a guy today. Shout out to AP. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's interviewed some Titans. He's interviewed Mike Keith before as well. He's Super Bowl credential. I think he gets to vote on a lot of college awards.
Yeah.
So seems like a really nice dude. Puts a lot of hard work and effort into it. So shout out to him. But when I started talking about, hey, I'm a Titans fan, he knows Will Levis. And he's way more optimistic on Levis than I am. But my point is, Titan South or anybody, stick to your opinion, man. If you think he can work out, don't just change your opinion because someone doesn't agree with it. And I know you won't, but
right.
I know some of us get bullied when it comes to the media. And they, hey, your opinion is garbage and it's ridiculous take. But in reality, you just never know how these things are going to operate, right?
Right.
JD says it's because of these three quarterbacks aren't all glittering gold with the initial media made them out to be. And then B French says, woohoo, indoor pool, large, living large upload. There we go, man. There we go. So we appreciate you. And Pig, what's up, man?
What's
you are
up,
back.
Pig? How are you, man?
It's great to see you, buddy.
And guys, make sure and hit that like button for us real quick if you can. We got over 120 people in the house. We appreciate you.
So let's play one more.
Yeah.
This one's Rossi. And who did you have the pleasure of talking to, Rossi?
So I believe this is the Landon Jackson. So you guys, Landon Jackson is one of the big top edge guys in the draft. He's going to be probably a second round pick is what he's going to be. I mean, he
Could be a Titan.
Could be a Titan, and the Titans with the first pick in the second round, he could be somebody. We need an edge if the Titans don't go edge in the first round. There's a few good guys that were in the Senior Bowl. It was Prince. I'm not even going to butcher his last name right now.
You did get it right, though.
I did. Umana Mialea, I think is how you say it.
That's good.
Probably butchered it.
It's
But
so-
Landon Jackson is another. This guy is a beast. He's like 6'6", 280. I was standing next to him like this. I mean, he just looked, his hands.
Yeah, check the hands out.
He shook my hand and it would cover my, it was crazy, but got a cool interview, really cool guy, and check out what I asked
Yeah,
him.
and seriously, watch his hands. Just check them out.
My name is Michael. I'm with the Titan Upload Network.
Okay.
I'm based out of Nashville.
For sure.
Just one question I have for you too is like, how do you tune out all the noise there in draft time? Because you're a potential first, second round pick.
Yeah.
You read, there's Bleacher Report stuff. There's stuff saying like, he's robotic, he's kind of slow here and there. But when we see you out here, you're out here just killing it. So how do you tune out all that noise?
Man, at the end of the day, just be me, be what I've been since I was at a really young age. Just fly around, play the game that I love, and enjoy the moment. Don't really
Right.
care about what others have to say or others' opinions, whether it be good or bad, just kind of be the person that I know I am.
Yeah. And where do you get like that drive and determination, that motor? You've had, over 6.5 sacks the last few years. Where do you get that? Does that come from your family? Where does that come from?
Yeah, really my parents, just a real athletic background. Both my parents played collegiate sports, kind of rolled over to me, and they were like, they wanted me to be better than them, and their biggest thing to say was just continue to push yourself no matter what. You can't take days off. You can't take any moment for granted. So really got to embrace the moment. Go your hardest every opportunity you get.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you very much, man.
Thank you. You have a great one.
Thank you, dude.
I will tell you this, dude. Okay. I'll tell you this too. When you, and this goes with anything, I talk a large game. I mean, I do.
Right,
I take a lot of this for granted.
Yeah.
Somebody just subscribed, by the way. Matthew, thanks for subscribing,
Yeah,
buddy. We
thank you,
appreciate
man.
it. When I'm walking into this place, I'm worried about my camera. I'm worried about, am I allowed to bring the bag in? And just that's where my mind's at. These guys are, they're cool and collected, honestly.
Right.
Rossi and producer. I kept asking Rossi, I'm like, you nervous? Rossi's like, nah, whatever, right? But I will tell you, to go down on that field and see all these college guys and all the future that these guys have in the palm of their hand, I want to give them shout outs because honestly, those guys, these guys can be complete jerks. I get it. It might hurt but if they can play and they're going to be a number one pick, I don't think a GM or a coach cares if they're a jerk to Titan Upload, right?
Right.
But the point is, these guys were all very respectful. And again, just with my son, like 15 years old, going up and interviewing some of these guys, we saved a good one for last. It's actually pretty funny. It's the wide receiver out of Georgia. But these guys, it's a great feeling. If you guys ever have an opportunity, I guess my point is, don't be like me and shy away from it and get all worked up about it. Just go and do it, man, because when we had that second practice, it's like, wow, I wish we were having more practices the rest of the week. We do have the game on Saturday, but
Right. And we'll have opportunities too after the game. They're going to let us on the field. I was nervous too. I think more of me is just like trying to figure out where I can get in. Like where can, me kind of on the smaller potatoes type of spectrum as far as some of these other guys there. Where can I get in? How can I utilize my time to interview guys who I think who the Titans could possibly really be looking at? I'm not really focused on like the first round, right? Because the Titans are so high up in the draft. None of those guys at the Senior Bowl, not to hate on them or anything, are going to be a number one pick. That's just the case. Some of those guys will be, 15, 13, maybe, some of them are pretty high up there.
I see Warren could get in the top 10.
Right. And there was a guy there, the Mike Green out of Marshall apparently was destroying everybody. The edge out of Marshall. He did so good the first day. His agent said, "Hey, go ahead and cut out because we don't want you to digress. You've done good enough." And he might have worked himself into a top 10, top 15 pick according to Broshmo. So yeah, I mean, it's just learning to get in where you fit in and learning which players you need to talk to, because I want to interview players that you guys are going to get the benefit from.
Yep.
Like Landon Jackson. He's a guy that the Titans, the Prince from Ole Miss, the edge. He's a guy that the Titans are going to be looking at. Some of these tackles that were there today, Ursery. I really wanted to interview Ursery and I couldn't. I'm going to try and get that on Sunday.
Or Saturday. But yeah, we do get to go on the field Saturday for interviews as well.
Right.
Titan South, thanks again for the super chat. That's two super chats from Titan South.
Yeah, thank you, man.
He said he heard Mike and Brian are already on the same page. Now, from what I've heard on Sirius XM on the way down, they're their feeling about it, these guys that do this for a living, what is it, Bill Polian and some of these guys, that the Titans are going to be very tread lightly. They're not gonna. They think the days of spending and free agency are over. A lot of this is because of Chad Brinker in this hacker way. But I still feel like they know the importance. Hopefully now, if they don't, they all should go. If they don't realize the importance of a right tackle, right. But I think ultimately they're going to try to build through the draft. I think that's ultimately what they're going to try to do. But here's the thing with Callahan. And this is what they said. Will Callahan be around to see it?
Right.
And if you go back on the Chad Brinker rumors out there that he didn't want him and Amy put her foot down for Callahan to stay another year, this may be it for Brian Callahan. So he'll have a piece in it. But don't listen to the head coach. If you're not going to have the head coach around or you have no confidence, it's ultimately going to have to be Bergonzi and Brinker.
Right.
And we got to trust them, I guess. That's the only thing we have. Shout out to Luke, man. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Said you guys at the Senior Bowl, yes. And I know your later comment was, and I did want to talk about the tight end you mentioned, by the way, because I thought he was great today. We did drive it. Left, I think, worked all day and then left about, 6 o'clock. And I'll be up front. I still not going on any sleep. So the last time, I think I woke up yesterday at 5:50 to get ready for work.
Yeah.
And I'm going on.
And we're going to crash out after this stream.
Yeah, and that's where producer is. He's already crashed out.
He's been crashed out for a couple hours.
But he had himself a day. And I do want to play the last one really quick before we dive into maybe some of the quarterbacks or any questions that you guys have. But here we go. Mr. Smith, wide receiver. I guess he's had some dropsies, but I mean, great route runner, had some great things today, correct?
He improved his stock today for sure. There's been a lot said about him. So,
but check out this interview. This is actually quite good. I felt bad for posting it. I did tag Georgia in it just because I think it's. You guys just listen to it and you tell me what you think, Mr. Producer.
What was your favorite team growing up?
My favorite team, like college or NFL?
NFL.
That's hard to say. I'd probably say like the Bucks, only because I lived in Florida all my life. So, growing up.
Yeah. Who was the best corner you played against in college?
In college, I'd probably say Sauce Gardner, my freshman year. I don't think he was in the game. Actually, that's not true. I don't think he was in the game, but he was on that team, so I'd probably say him.
And then, do you work out every day?
Yeah, I work out every day. Yes, sir.
All right. See you, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Thanks.
thank you, buddy.
So I think we got another super chat. Jesse says, I can't trust Levis after this season. I'm being honest. And I'm with you. And I think majority of fans are. But like I mentioned earlier, Titan South, shout out to him. He's sticking with him. And I think that's fine, man.
Yeah.
Another super chat. That's 1, 2, and 3 now. Just got to get something, right? Shout out again to Titan South. Third super chat. If Callahan gets fired, Eddie George becomes head coach. And that's interesting because we talked about him today.
Right.
At the Senior Bowl with, what's his name that you interviewed?
Yeah. RBT?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
And we were just talking about, both of us were like, wow, that was pretty cool. He got an interview with the Bears, and maybe deep down he's thinking about maybe taking that jump at some point if he ever gets that chance. So shout out again to Titans South. So you just watched the video. What's your thoughts? What's your initial thoughts? Again, I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know, he mentioned Sauce, and he's like, oh, wait a minute. Sauce didn't play that game. So
yeah, it was funny because if you go back and it's on our, I don't know if it's on our X yet.
It is.
It is on our X yet at Tighten Up Network. Go check that out. But he's like, yeah, I think he got nervous and just kind of fumbled the question. I don't think he was like intentionally lying, but he said Sauce was on the sideline, and because he had said that was the best person he played him, but he was on the sideline,
and he never did go against them.
And when I watched it, or when I was filming it for Mr. Producer, and I'm like, huh? But no, I mean, and shout out to Mr. Producer too. Like, he was a little nervous. You could tell. He's younger. He's 15, but he's doing a great job, and just really impressed by him just going around and interviewing guys today.
Yeah, and if people don't realize this either too, like, we were so like rushed.
Yeah.
And part of that's my fault because I didn't get out of Illinois soon enough. But like, we didn't eat all day. We didn't even think about eating, and we didn't sleep. So it's like our primary focus was just, hey, we got to do this, this, and this. But I think the most important thing, and what I really enjoyed about the whole process, was like, we had an opportunity. We drove all the way down here.
Yeah.
Here's our chance. We, like, a lot of these guys go down on Monday. They're Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday's the best day apparently because they have later on in the evening. I think you get to go to the hotel or whatever, and they have like all the guys are. Basically, you have an opportunity in 45 minutes or so to interview these guys
at the hotel
or somewhere,
cool.
some convention center, something like that, outside of the stadium at South Alabama. But I'm just telling you, like, knowing today's it. Like, yeah, you get the game on Saturday, right? And some people just leave; they're out. There are a lot of guys that just were leaving today around after the first practice. There was a lot of pressure, but we wanted to. We had you guys in mind, of course. Like I said, if there's any guy that you're definitely like really zoned into, we will do our job and pay more attention to them at the game.
Yeah,
and you guys know it's on TV too. Yeah. But afterwards, if there's someone you really want us to try to get, and you had a specific question or something that let us know. I mean, I can say Leonard, just throwing this out there with the quarterback. He is a guy where I'm like, all right. And I'm not a big Notre Dame. I'm not a Notre Dame fan at all. I was hoping they were going to lose to Indiana. I was hoping they were going to lose to Penn State. I was hoping they were going to lose to everybody. And they ended up going to Ohio State. And actually, to be quite honest, Rossi, I was going for Ohio State. I don't like to put that out there being an Illini fan, but I'm going to tell you in all honesty here. But it was Thursday. But having a chance to hear him how he interacts with people. Yeah. He even took Mr. Producer's phone because Mr. Producer was not allowed to come back down because you get 10 minutes and you're booted out of there. Took his phone from him because he was on the field. Took a little selfie with Mr. Producer hanging over the edge and gave him his phone back. I mean, and he did this with kid after kid after kid. He went out of his way. And I know it doesn't mean he's going to be a great quarterback, but my point is how he handles himself. And from the Notre Dame guys that were interviewed too, like, they put a lot into him.
Yeah.
And he was a big reason for their success this year.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I was impressed by his demeanor and the way he interacted with the fans afterwards. And it was so cool. He did that for Mr. Producer, and he did it with a lot of kids. There was a group of kids. He signed like 5 footballs. They were just over the moon. And you might say, okay, well, what does that have to do with the actual play of football? I don't know, but I think it does show you the character and his enthusiasm for off the field stuff and stuff like that too. And you want that too in a quarterback. And I was impressed by him, man.
Yep.
I'm excited to see like where his career goes.
Yep.
Like I don't know. You never know with these guys. Like you never know. We want to sit here and we want to judge Sanders. We want to judge Ward. We want to judge Milroe and everybody else. But there's always one. There was one, Jaden Daniels last year, man. It's like,
true.
He's a project guy. Look at him. He almost made the Super Bowl.
And we'd take him in a heartbeat. Bears would too.
Oh, in a minute. And there's, I don't know. And Caleb Williams, like he was the generational guy, and he kind of struggled throughout most of the year. I mean, he got better towards like maybe the last 5 or 6 games of the year, but it's just you never know with these guys. And a guy like Leonard with that type of enthusiasm, that type of heart, maybe he does something in the league.
I didn't get that. It's again, my screen's super small today. I apologize, but I got the end. Duff. I don't think it was Hillary Duff, but shout out to Duff for subscribing. Lone Star Titan says, glad I caught to see you fellas tonight. Appreciate the video. We wanted to do this. Of course, we're very limited with what we can do at the stadium because they play music.
I think we missed the super too when we get back.
Yeah, we'll get back to some super chats here. But again, honestly, we would love to go live at the stadium with you, and some do it. But unfortunately, they play music in the background, and that would sink us. And, but maybe we'll do an off-air video. Yeah. Sportacular with the Oiler helmet. Love that. Super chat. Appreciate it. Do they plan on moving on from Landry? It's a good question. I think we talked about that yesterday. We talked about who could be traded if they are going to do a total rebuild. How are they going to get there this time? And that's what they said on the radio. Sirius XM. Half in, half out. I know we complained about that in the offseason last year. Are they in? They out? They're kind of, trending both lines there. But then they kind of seem to go all in towards the end. If they are truly going full rebuild here, you do have to at least consider. Now, I know some of you, we mentioned this before. You're like, all right, you're going to no Landry and all this stuff. You don't have edge rushers anyways. Yeah. But how much would you save by getting rid of Landry?
I mean, looking at the spot track now, I mean, his cap hit is $23 million. Nice. 23.8. So, you're going to save a lot of money. I don't know. It's not showing his dead cap. I'm still not like a contract guru guy. I don't, but it says 23.8. I don't know if he has the potential out 2025, 3 years, 52.5, 13 million dead cap. So I'm not sure what his dead cap would be for that. But yeah, I mean, if it's somebody where you can get out of, because look, I mean, Landry, I don't know. I guess he's been pretty consistent, but how much longer is that going to last? I mean, and we didn't really hear from him much at all.
No.
I mean, was his name called? Like, I don't remember even.
The problem.
A lot of guys.
The problem with these guys, and again,
here we go.
If you watch parties with me, you know what I'm going to say. Yeah. The problem with these guys is, whether it's Arden Key, whether it's Landry, whether it's Simmons. I mean, I'll even throw Sweat in there, although he's not necessarily a sack guy. I mean, I don't think the intention was him to be a sack stat guy. But these guys are in the backfield. That's a plus. But how many times did they let non-athletic quarterbacks just skadoos. It became such a joke. Circus music, by the way, for you. It became such a joke towards the end of the year. We expected them to just escape like Houdini because these guys just flat out fundamentally could not bring down the quarterback. And honestly, we didn't even play Lamar Jackson this year.
Yeah.
So you can't even give me that. Shout out to the West Coast for the thumbs down. But seriously, Landry, Simmons, I think all hands are on deck. Do they trade Simmons? Some say no, because he's legitimately going to be your face of the franchise right now. And could you do that? But if they're in a full rebuild, everybody, you have to at least consider it in what you can get.
Right.
That is my only thought.
And Landry, and I pulled up another page, but his dead cap for 2025 pre-June 1st is $13,000,001. His post-June 1st, if you could get a post-June 1st designation, it's 10.9.
Yep.
So there is an out. If you keep him next season, you're looking at a 6.5 pre-June 1st dead cap. In 2026, the post is 17.5. So I think this year might be a year to get rid of them, or you get rid of them next year and you save 8 million, whatever, 7 million. So I don't know. You could get rid of them this year. You're still gonna have to eat some money though.
So you guys could help us out hitting those 3 dots in the top right corner of the screen and hitting that like button for us. That would mean a lot to us. It helps us out. It just gives us more confidence of what we're doing. The second thing is you can hit that subscribe button, as some of you guys have done already. So shout out to you. Again, now that we're, both in Mobile together, the 20K thing is like, I will be honest, like, we're not the ones that want to go around and just like, oh my gosh, this, and this. Like, I get it. But I'm just telling you up front, like where I come in and Rossi comes in, Power Hour, shout out to him, and producer, whatever. We just want to show thanks. That's our thing.
Yeah.
I'm not here to gloat and say, hey, whatever. There's a lot of great YouTube channels,
Yeah, a lot of good ones.
Shout out to Tyler for crying out loud, right?
Yeah.
Locked On Titans does better than anybody. He does better than probably a lot of us combined. And he does better than any of the media guys. We were looking up stats today, and like A to Z Sports has like, I think producer says almost 7,000 videos
7,000
that they
videos,
came out with. And I will bet you Tyler probably, in the amount of videos he has more views than they do. And it's not disrespectful to A to Z Sports.
Yeah.
But A to Z Sports is just pumping out multiple comments or content daily.
Right.
And you looked at Locked On, and Locked On sometimes, breaking news will, but he does it consistently, 1 video a day.
Right.
But he puts a lot into it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give him a shout out. But again, it's never for us to gloat. No.
Yeah.
But I want to say thank you, because without you guys, we would just be dudes talking to a camera in a hotel in the Senior Bowl without these things on.
Right. And
that would be us right now.
And the cool thing about it is, like, it's because of you guys we get to do this stuff right here. Like, it's because of you guys subscribing and building this channel to where it's at is the reason we get considered to be credentialed. You know what I mean? Because the more we grow, the more opportunities we're going to get. I mean, the more we've been trying to get into the Titans. Like, we're trying to do that. We're trying to get credentialed, and
this helps.
Like, hey, maybe we got to kind of force our way in. And the way to do that, and I don't mean that if any Titans are watching, the way we do that is we keep growing, and you guys are doing that. This is all community. You guys have helped us do that. Over 20,000. I'm stoked, and the opportunities are going to keep coming.
Yeah. I Bleed Orange, thank you. Says, hey guys, great stream. And I did see you type.
Too. I bleed orange too, just to let you know.
And I guess I do too with Illinois.
Illinois, yeah.
And then shout out to Titan Kong. I saw you earlier with
we
the
saw some
McCreary.
balls today down there.
Yeah, and some got out of there real quick.
Yeah.
Given an opportunity.
Omar Lott. I wanted to Omar Norman Lott. I wanted to get an interview. He jetted. Brew McCoy. I didn't even have a chance to. So
Yeah. So we got 5 minutes left. Questions up to you guys, whatever you want to throw our way. The other thing is, just throwing it out there to you, like, who is the guy that you know that's not Sanders and not Ward, that you are not Carter and not Hunter,
yeah.
that you just want the Titans to draft? I'm gonna give you my guy. I got two guys.
Okay.
I got two guys. Okay, and I don't know if we'll get either one of them, but I'd love to have them. Okay, any tackle will do, because I will guarantee you they are better than what we have right now at right tackle. Now, there's one guy that won't be, and I feel terrible for him. And I'm trying to. He's a guard from Arizona. I think he's a guard.
Okay.
Do you remember what happened to him today, going up against the Alabama defensive guy, and their little fun period at the end of the game?
He got smoked.
He got steamrolled.
Right, yeah.
I've never seen a guy get. Oh, never mind.
Are you talking about Jaden Roberts?
Jaden Roberts
Was it from Alabama?
from Alabama just destroyed that guy from Arizona. But my point is, maybe I have seen that with Dillard, Duncan, and NPF and whatever. But my guy,
Yeah.
okay, that I would love to see here is the tight end, Mason.
Yeah.
I thought from LSU, he stood out to me like, wow. Like, you could throw it to him every time if you wanted to. And I don't know where he's supposed to go or not go. But I also know that the Titans are in desperate need of a wide receiver at some point. And I just seen him play and seeing him out of the scene. I mean, Pat Bryant, to me, I don't know what round he would go in. But Rossi, that would be the guy that, wow. I would really think that he is a true outside guy, and he could go down the field, go watch his game against Nebraska. Shout out to draft_Brian. He knows well too much about him. But I think he could be a serious, eventually, impact player for the Tennessee Titans.
Right. There was Xavier Restrepo was somebody that I wanted to see more of today. I didn't really get to see a lot of him. He was a lot smaller looking than I thought. He's listed at 5'10", 198. I thought he was like 5'8", but he's pretty much a slot guy.
Yeah.
You know, the Titans love drafting slot receivers, but
No slot. We got a slot. Number 12.
They like to draft them, but they don't use them. So whatever. But one of those guys, Mason Taylor, awesome.
Yeah, Mason
Awesome.
was a stud.
Like, that dude is going to be a star somewhere, no matter where he gets drafted. If he falls to the 4th round, he's going to be a star, in my opinion. But the guy that I'm really intrigued by, and it might be the Xavier Worthy effect, and he's a Texas guy, Isaiah Bond from Texas, 5'11", 180. He's supposed to run like in the 4.2s in the combine.
Wow.
Another Texas speedster guy. And a lot of people thought Worthy wouldn't work out, but look what Worthy's been doing. He's been making plays in the playoffs. Yeah. He's been showing up, and he's been getting better and better throughout the season. And I think Bond can be that type of guy. He's a fast dude. He's a burner. He runs good routes. Like, he's one of those guys for me that, like, okay, if he falls to the 2nd, if he falls to the 3rd, if the guy goes out and runs a 4.28 at the combine, he's not falling to the 3rd. There's no way.
Nope.
But who knows? And we don't even have a 3rd. We have 3/4. So you're talking about possibly. So it's probably impossible for us to even get Bond.
Yeah.
But he's one of those guys that I like. And yes, the Mason dude, I would put him on that list too.
Yep. Dakari says about the Miami tight end. Now, I don't have an answer to this. But I found it interesting is when if this is the guy that I'm thinking of, the dude was a mass. Like I didn't really get to see a whole lot because I believe he was with the
Miami
first
tight
group,
end?
but he was like massive, like just a total beast out there.
see.
And this is coming from someone sitting, like 4 or 5 rows up in the stands. And I remember my son's like, "Oh my gosh, who is that guy?"
Elijah Aurora.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's the guy or not, but one of these tight ends was just extremely big and massive, and I don't know. I knew it was some Miami guy, but maybe it was somebody else.
He's let's see, 6'4". I don't know what his weight is.
Yeah, I mean, then that photo right there, he just
6'4", 245 pounds.
yeah. I mean that's
And some of these guys, when you're in person,
oh
seeing it, like that guy, the Landon Jackson guy, like when you're in person seeing these guys, you're like, holy crap, man.
Yeah.
Like such supreme athletes. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. You get such a different perspective seeing them in person
Yep.
than you do just sitting there watching film or looking at draft boards. Like it's so much of an advantage to see these guys actually move in person and just see how they are. It's like seeing the Leonard guy. Like I never would have known that about him if I didn't see him in person like that.
No.
So,
But no, you guys were awesome. Thanks so much. We
Yeah.
got Sportacular. Appreciate you too, buddy. He says Horn been out there balling. I believe Horn isn't. I could be wrong, but Horn was at the Shriner Bowl, wasn't he?
I think so.
I think a lot of those Colorado guys were. But I heard him on Sirius XM too. Yesterday, someone was talking about him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't think anything specifically high, but just how. And I believe his dad, right?
Yeah.
His dad was a former player.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just in the genes.
Is it Horn? Was it Joey Horn?
Jimmy Horn?
Jimmy Horn.
Was it Jimmy Horn
Is that his
or
son?
Joe Horn?
Or Joe?
I
Horn?
thought it was.
Was there a Joe or Jimmy?
I thought
Or
there was a
both.
Jimmy. Played for the Saints,
That's right. He
right?
did.
But I don't know if
Yeah.
that maybe they're not related. I don't know. Excluding the top end of the first round, Jalen Royals from Utah State, Mike Green from Marshall.
Royals was there today.
I heard a lot about Royals
Yeah.
yesterday, I believe,
Broshma was talking about Royals today.
but I was not there to see it yesterday. LF Prod says, hello. Hey, hello to you as well. Jesse, I've been saying Mike Green all year round. One of the most. Now, I will say this, Jesse, and I'm not one to critique your guys' opinion, but from
Yeah.
just throwing it out there, I would like to go back and watch it. Go watch Green versus Ohio State because I don't think that ended very well, but it's not the end all be all.
Right.
You know, football is a team sport. I get it. One guy can shine, but I mean, how many excuses have we made for Will Levis throughout the year? Oh, he doesn't have the line. Oh, he doesn't have the receivers. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. The bottom line is, like, some of these guys can be put up in very difficult spots, especially playing good competition. The NFL is totally different. Like every guy, I'm going to argue, was drafted or made a roster, so they belong. So it can present different elements. So yeah, it's something definitely. The name's getting more and more popular.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah. Guys, we appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to be posting more content on the channel. Follow our X accounts at Tighten Up Network, mine at Titans Rossi. We're posting all the Senior Bowl stuff. We're tomorrow, not a lot of action going on. We're kind of having a kind of a fun day, I guess, exploring around. But then Saturday we'll be back at it at the Senior Bowl here in Mobile for the game, the post game, all that stuff. We might get another live like this in. We'll see what happens. So, but thanks for tuning in.
One thing I'd like, and I want to show you guys this before we leave.
Yeah.
One thing I want you to check out too. It's cool. It's just a cool thing. The thumbnail. Both of those were photos I took, but the one on if you're looking at the thumbnail on the left, I mean, we were looking at all this stuff. When you're there, you just have to keep going. I mean, you don't really have a lot of time to go back. So you just pray it works. That's what it is. You pray it works. You pray, and there was a lot of bad shots that I took today. There was a lot of bad videos that I took today. But every once in a while, you get a gem, and I remember putting it on there, you know, and you're like, wow. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like that might actually work. And I feel like those also are with interviews. You know what I mean? When I was in awe of some of these interviews that these guys were doing. These guys were killing it. And no fear. The second go around, they're just out there. They're hunting. They're hunting for good content. So again, shout out to you guys. But that was my final take. I'll take them around the room. But got any closing comment?
Do you have that video keyed up?
I don't. I have it full frame, but not short frame.
Yeah, but you could see it on our X accounts. The Tighten Up Network or Titans Rossi, it's on there.
Yeah, and I keep in mind, there's things that we can and cannot do.
Right.
And I am not allowed to go on the fields and shoot video at live practice. I'm just not.
Right.
So I can do it anywhere in the stadium. I just can't go on the field to do it. Some can.
Some can.
I was not fortunate enough. A lot of us weren't. It didn't matter how many subscribers you had, by the way. I know a guy that had over 1 million subscribers.
Right.
And he wasn't allowed to go on there either.
Right.
And I even talked to some media guys who work for the actual media, not
big time media.
Big time media, and they weren't allowed to go.
Yeah,
and apparently there was some new changes at the Senior Bowl this year.
Yeah.
But overly, I'm impressed. This is a trip of a lifetime for me, man.
Me too.
And I'm just being honest. Like, the people at the Senior Bowl have done a fabulous job with welcoming us.
Right.
And it's just, I wish the 10 minutes was longer. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it's been a lot of fun. And
no,
no, they don't give away free Reese's peanut butter cups. They might for the players, but not for us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird, right? It is sponsored by Reese's.
I thought I'd at least get one.
Yeah, you think they'd be, but whatever.
Could have used it.
Right. So.
But I'll take you around real quick, and then, yeah.
So we'll show you what we got set up today to make this happen. Yeah. So we're out here in the room. Pretty cool, huh? Oh yeah, and shout out to the Dolphins. We had a guy come in here we talked to for a little bit. Dolphins fan. He came in there and talked to us. So shout out to the Dolphins too.
So thank you guys. Oh, Steve's a member. We got to get Steve in here for closing comment. What did he say?
And somebody just subscribed too. Whoever that was, thank you.
He said, why would you give up a number 2 to a player that won't even be here?
He's talking about the jersey number. They were going back and forth about the jersey number, about Spears giving up number 2 to Shador.
Oh,
if Shador came in. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
You guys out on Spears? That's another one to.
Yeah.
I love Spears, by the way.
I love Spears too. I think, give
great
him
person.
A shot, see if he can stay healthy.
Out on Jaquan Jackson? I don't know. We'll see. Ebo said, yeah, but you guys have a great one. You guys are awesome. Take care, and don't forget to
tighten up that like button, everybody.
Hey, and I'm going to play the interviews one more time. L Lost 951. Thanks for subbing. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah,
We're going to play the interviews, roll them back one more time in case you guys missed them. But thanks again, and we'll see you soon.
Right.
What was your favorite team growing up?
My favorite team, like college or NFL?
NFL.
That's hard to say. I'll probably say like the Bucks, only because I lived in Florida all my life. So,
Right.
Growing up.
Yeah. Who was the best corner you played against in college?
In college, I'd probably say Sauce Gardner, my freshman year. I don't think he was in the game. Actually, that's not true. I don't think he was in the game, but he was on that team, so I'd probably say him.
And then, Do you work out every day?
Yeah, I work out every day. Yes, sir.
All right. See you, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Thanks.
Thank you, buddy.
So my name's Michael. I'm with the Titan Upload Network.
Okay.
I'm based out of Nashville.
For sure.
It's one question I have for you too is like, how do you tune out all the noise there in draft time? Because you're a potential first, second round pick.
Yeah.
You read, there's Bleacher Report stuff. There's stuff saying like, he's robotic, he's kind of slow here and there. But when we see you out here, you're out here just killing it. So how do you tune out all that noise?
Man, at the end of the day, just be me, be what I've been since I was at a really young age. Just fly around, play the game that I love, and enjoy the moment. Don't really care about what others have to say or others' opinions, whether it be good or bad, just kind of be the person that I know I am.
Yeah. And where do you get like that drive and determination, that motor? You've had, over 6.5 sacks the last few years. Where do you get that? Does that come from your family? Where does that come from?
Yeah, really my parents, just a real athletic background. Both my parents played collegiate sports, kind of rolled over to me, and they were like, they wanted me to be better than them, and their biggest thing to say was just continue to push yourself no matter what. You can't take days off. You can't take any moment for granted. So really got to embrace the moment. Go your hardest every opportunity you get.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you very much, man.
Thank you. You have a great one.
Thank you, dude.
What's good, man?
Did you have a favorite team growing up?
Favorite team? Probably the Jaguars. Just being from Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Went to those games as a kid.
What are the best skills to work on as a wide receiver?
As a wide receiver, man, at the end of the day, you got to be able to catch the ball. So really having soft hands, man, and be able to create separation at the top of your routes.
All right. And then what is the biggest challenge you face as a wide receiver?
Really, man, just being a bigger guy, man. A lot of guys, kind of challenge me with my speed. So really just beating guys off the line, man, and just, going against press and beating press was really one thing I kind of focused on this year.
All right. ILL.
I.